Hey guys, it's Mountain Walk, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about survival of the fittest, or at least one of the versions of survival of the fittest. This is RGSA, which is basically a shorthand way of saying red-green survival advantage. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a mouthful. Um, RGSA isn't exactly much better; it just sounds kind of dumb, but that's okay. That's okay. We gotta take the good with the bad. Sometimes it's better to just go with a little acronym. I think it's an acronym, not an initialism. Always get those two mixed up. Like I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's about a bajillion, gajillion, bazillion ways to build survival of the fittest. There's this one, red green survival advantage, was just red green. Then there's FEB, full English breakfast, which is like a combo thingy. And then you've got like the squirrel nest versions with squirrel nest and static orb and opposition and stuff. Those ones are all over the place. Then you've got the trade wind rider versions. The probably can't play ATS, which is angry trade wind survival, because you don't have dual lands to make anger work. And so that's kind of actually one of the ways, one of the reasons I actually chose to play this version is because you do get to play anger, because you're only playing two colors, and obviously you can play basic mountains that way, so it's a lot easier to support it. And anger is sweet, like just universal haste is really powerful, especially since it's pretty hard to disrupt since it's just a dude in your graveyard and all you have to do is have a mountain, so it's pretty sweet. And so it gives all sorts of your guys, like other than just like your big stupid beat stick dudes like Flame Tongue Kavu and stuff. It lets you do all sorts of sweet things, like you can play your Goblin Sharpshooter and it has haste, and or just play your utility guys, and you can activate them immediately, all that kind of good stuff. And so that's really sweet. That's actually the sort of unexpectedness of it, and it sort of like definitely keeps people guessing, makes them play more conservatively, sometimes make the wrong moves, that kind of thing. And Burning Wish. Burning Wish is a big one. Not all versions played Burning Wish, but I do like it. I could see not playing it, but I think it's so sweet, um, that I just love Burning Wish in general. You get all sorts of game one. You get tsunami or flash fires. You get stuff like pyroclasm or whatever. I mean, just tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff. So lots of stuff lots of haterade. That's good stuff. Um, but let's look at this deck. Mine's a little different, probably a little bit than the other deck lists that you've seen. So let's check it out. Okay, so we're playing about 30 dudes, um, and then we got like the survivals and the burning wishes, and then the Singleton Sylvan Library as the non creature cards for this, because obviously you need a certain amount of creatures to play survival, if at the very least just to get it going, to get your engine going. So obviously survival of this doesn't do anything if you don't have any creatures in your hand. I guess I don't really need to tell you that, but it should be said in case you're like, why are all these dudes here? You want a lot of mana acceleration. So we got Guy's Cradle, just as a one-of. I could see playing like a crop rotation main to have access to another Cradle or something, but I think it's probably okay as is. You got 4 birds, 4 Llanowar Elves, and 2 Quirion Rangers, and then Priest of Titania. So obviously the Quirion Rangers only work with like the Llanowar Elves or the birds or the priests or something, but yeah, they're typically part of the mana acceleration. I guess the 2 Yavimaya Rangers, although they're a little more expensive, but yeah. So that's all that's the mana ramp that you want. And of course, you can always pitch them late game to survival of the fittest. Korean Ranger is really good here because it's really good with Priest of Titania, obviously producing tons of mana. So you can, got a couple elves in play, tap for 3, then untap it, replay land, tap for 3, tap the land. I mean, just get a gajillions of mana. Yep, that's a word. And so that's really sweet. Obviously, Query Ranger's really sweet with Sharpshooter. It's really good with stuff where like making surprise blockers, like surprise, here's a untapped Siobhan worm, and all sorts of stuff. So it can do lots of tricks, lots of cool stuff. So most of the other stuff not too weird. Massacre, because we've got a lot of mana acceleration. It's good mana sink. Avalanche Riders, because well, it's good to be able to blow up lands. So if you start looping the Avalanche Riders, that's always kind of nice. You can just kill all their lands. Pretty sweet. I guess you could play Orcish Settlers. That might be a little bit better. Avalanche Riders a bit more of a respectable card on its own, where Orcish Settlers is a little bit slower, Deranged Hermit, of course, is really sweet because you can not pay the echo and bring it back and make even more squirrels, and oh boy, you just do crazy stuff. Deranged Hermit is pretty cool. I think I like it a little bit more than Siege Gang, but not 100% on that. The fact that it's elf for Queer and Ranger, I guess, is kind of nice. And obviously it makes bigger guys, so I don't know. I could go back and forth either way on that. FTK and Ravenous Baloth for big beater guys. Siobhan Worm to gate back your FTKs or Avalanche Riders or Yavimite Rangers, or Uktabi Orangutan. That guy is pretty good when you're destroying artifacts. Anger and Genesis, of course, pretty good in the graveyard. Spore Frog for Frog Locks. I love Spore Frog. This card's sweet. It's pretty strong against a lot of decks that can't really interact with the graveyard game 1, and even in game 2 and 3, it could still be pretty strong. So that's pretty much all the dudes. Again, sideboard is just mostly for like blue decks and other unfair stuff. Or I should say combo decks, the real big issue. Blue decks, not so much, but Pyroblast, Naturalize. It feels like I have about a bajillion extra pieces of like artifact and enchantment hate, but I don't know how much is too much. So that's okay. That's okay. You could always end up playing like bolts or something in the sideboard, or because those are pretty good against some of the super aggro decks where you might need a little bit of help. Yeah, so Pyroblast, Naturalize, Crypts, nothing too wonky. Caravex Torch, I thought that'd be kind of an interesting thing to play because it's pretty okay against blue decks, and it's good, obviously a good outlet for all your mana. So I guess you could play something like Earthquake or something like that, Fault Line or whatever. Although Fault Line obviously is an instant, but yeah, so Caravex Torch, I'm just like, okay, this is sweet. It's a huge outlet for all of our mana. Cool. Flash Fires, Tsunami, I mean, these are pretty obvious, just hosers for whatever particular thing you're fighting. Same thing with Anarchy. Seeds of Innocence, yep, just kill all artifacts. Hull Breach, again, more artifact enchantment, killing stuff. And Pyroclasm. Not sure. Like I said, maybe should be an Earthquake or two in here. Hard to tell, but that's okay. That's what I'm going with. So yeah, there's a ton of different options. Deck is mostly green, so you might be able to play something like Raphalos instead of Priest of Titania. I'm not sure which would be better. Maybe you could play a split or something. Make lots of mana. Pretty good. Your Masked Core, making tons of mana, or just, making mana for your Genesis and then casting a lot of Deranged Hermits every turn. That's kind of cool. There's also lots of Madness stuff. And by lots and lots, I mean, I guess there's Arrogant Worm and Basking Rootwalla. That might be kind of cool, Obviously, those cards tend to work pretty well with survival. Obviously, pretty good with Anger in the graveyard. And Rootwalla is really good because it's extra mana sink too for all your mana, so that's cool. So that might be interesting, like a Wild Mongrel, Bastion Root Walla, Arrogant Worm thing. That might be pretty sweet. But I don't know. It's something worth exploring. I mean, that's the thing about these survival decks is like you just have options all over the place, like just tons and tons of stuff to do. Like I was thinking maybe I should play Bolt's main deck. Bolt's pretty good, obviously, against some of the faster aggro decks and is basically never dead. But not sure, not 100% sure. Then we got all the nasty stuff people don't expect. So we can answer artifacts and enchantments game one. We can start boiling people and stuff. Or I guess tsunamiing people. Wow, words are tough. So that's kind of cool. Being able to have access to those kind of cards are really nice. And survival, just by its nature, lets you play lots of one-ofs and lots of more narrow things. You don't have to ever really be cold to really any sort of strategy, which is nice. And it is a lot better versus the slower decks because they'll give you time to set up your survival engine, and once you do, then you're just like recurring stuff over and over, getting that Yavimite Granger, and yeah, getting them frog locks with your Spore Frog every turn, Genesis with Spore Frog. That's sweet. And who doesn't love that? I love Spore Frog. Everyone loves Spore Frog. Things it looks so happy. It's so happy, but it brings everyone so much misery. I guess that's probably why I like it. Anyways, so yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know, if I had an hour, it'd probably take too long. I don't even know if I'd have enough time to go over all the different survival variants or even just variants for this deck. Yeah, I definitely want to play something a little bit more, a little bit less one-ofs, more Ravenous Balos and more Flame Tongue Kabus and Hasty Beaters and stuff like that. So yeah, the survival engine is just enables so many different things. That's why it's so fun. But yeah, so that's basically the long and short of it. We'll just stop there, since I don't have enough time, not enough years of my life to go over all the different survival things. So that's okay. But yeah, this is a really fun deck. I mean, gosh, if you can pick up the survivals now, do it. They're not getting any cheaper since they're reserve list cards, but they're really fun. I love playing survival decks. I love just playing random crap. Boy, I love killing stuff. It's great. All right, guys, that's it for today. So thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.